Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thanks so much for joining me for this devotional. Today we're in Acts chapter 22. I'm going to read verses 17 through 21. Paul says, "When I had returned to Jerusalem and was praying in the temple, I fell into a trance and I saw him," that's Jesus, saying to me, "Make haste and get out of Jerusalem quickly because they will not accept your testimony about me." And I said, "Lord, they themselves know that in one synagogue after another I imprisoned and beat those who believed in you. And when the blood of Stephen, your witness, was being shed, I myself was standing by and approving and watching over the garments of those who killed him." And he, that's Jesus, said to me, "Go, for I will send you far away to the Gentiles." So let's back up for a second and remember our context, because context is important here. An uproar in Jerusalem instigated in this moment during a large feast gathering. And someone claimed that Paul had brought a Gentile, so a non-believer, into an off-limits area of the temple, which absolutely wasn't true. But word spread, and a large crowd of Jews within the temple grounds are in an uproar. Seriously, a major uproar. Paul is arrested by Roman authorities, but is given a chance here to speak. And he's speaking to the crowd, and he's sharing his testimony. But his testimony is all about Jesus and the resurrection. And at this moment in his talk, he's telling the crowd of Jews about a moment that he was in the temple post his encounter with Jesus, and he claims that he was praying and fell into a trance, and he's told in this trance by Jesus to leave Jerusalem and to leave behind the Jews who are surrounding him at this moment, because they will no longer accept him. Laughable, right? But he tries to rationalize in this trance with Jesus about why the Jews would accept him. And he reasons with Jesus that he was an ardent persecutor of Christians, telling Jesus that there's no way that Jews wouldn't accept him, right? So I want to pause here for a second and just consider this. Do you really think Jesus didn't know that Paul persecuted Christians? Of course he knew. This is exactly why Jesus confronted him on the road to Damascus. But note what Paul does in this moment. In this trance, he talks back to Jesus and uses this as his reasoning that he will be accepted by them. He essentially dismisses Jesus because he put too much stock in his past, right? And refused to do what Christ wanted him to do in the present. It's kind of like he was saying to Jesus, "Don't worry, bro, I got this." I think we all do this sometimes, right? I think we're prone to do this at any point in our walk with Jesus. But I will confess, I did this a lot more when I was younger in my faith. I call it rationalizing disobedience. We use natural reasoning to convince ourselves to do something that Jesus doesn't want us to do. We overestimate our resources and wisdom and underestimate Jesus's resources and his wisdom. We put too much credibility in our past rather than listening and obeying what Jesus wants us to do in the present and realizing the future that he has for us. I hope you see that in Paul's testimony today. He explains that he put too much stock in this moment, in who he was, rather than focusing on what God wanted him to do and to be. Paul was focused on surviving with the Jews. But God is saying, you're going to thrive with the Gentiles. For those of you out there today looking for a calling from Jesus, consider this question. Could you be missing the calling of God because you've been rationalizing disobedience, embracing your past, putting too much stock in your wisdom rather than just acting in obedience to him? Well, if so, do this. Stop doing that and listen and act in obedience to Jesus a little bit more quickly today, because sometimes delayed obedience is disobedience to the one who has a great plan and a calling for your life. Love you guys. If you've enjoyed this, share this with someone you know, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.